ice cream is wonderful!
Told you so.
You should be very proud of this achievement.
Thanks?
I understood that reference.
Wonder Woman! Wonder Woman!
Directed by Jenkins, is a period piece war, romance and action film, as well as being the first ever live action depiction of the 76-year-old comic book character. It follows Diana, Princess of the Amazons, as she leaves her secret paradise island of all women to fight the First World War and hopefully save the world. I was secretly hopeful for this film, having been let down so consistently with the latest DC Extended Universe movies, but the advertising promised something colourful and hopeful while still holding to DC's quote-unquote realism, and I'm happy to report that 2017's Wonder Woman delivers on that promise and makes for the greatest offering from the DCEU so far. It does this by focusing on Diana as a character rather than Wonder Woman as an ideal for women, and in turn they craft a protagonist that is relatable, inspirational and enjoyable for both men and women. But it's also a war film, and it earns its DC grittiness by not shying away from it, exploring man's darker nature in wartime and touching on the politics of war, who fights and why, the soldiers or the men behind desks. But all of this is countered by Diana's wonderment of man's world and the reliably funny fish out of water scenario she finds herself in, delivered in a great performance by relative newcomer Gal Gadot, who I felt not only looked like Wonder Woman, but really nailed her naive but overconfident attitude. Chris Pine also deserves a shout out here too. While what he does here isn't something we haven't seen before, he doesn't overshadow the lead and leaves a good and charming impression on screen. However, this film isn't perfect. It suffers from three big detractors. The first are weak and unsubstantial villains. I felt ultimately they didn't contribute much to the plot, and they felt empty on screen. The second is a rushed and what I thought to be confused third act. It felt tonally different from the rest of the film, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was mandated by DC or Warner Brothers. And the third, unfortunately, was the CG some of the time. It was noticeably unfinished in some of the shots, and it really took me out of the movie. But hey, for everything else that this film does well other than those things, I'll give it a pass. So there you go. Wonder Woman is definitely worth seeing. There's so many other things I wanted to touch on, but I'll leave you with this. I'm over the moon that Wonder Woman got exposure like this and people will finally get to know her, and that maybe the DCEU has a little more hope in its future. So go see it.
She'll return in love with her liberty, never known as a non-believer. She'll smile and thank